What's up guys, it's Legend X Ronin, and today I have another topic video for you guys. In today's video, I will be talking about a possible moveset and customization options that Spawn could have in Mortal Kombat 11. As we all know, Spawn is one of the characters who's been announced to be in the Combat Pack 1 for Mortal Kombat 11, along with characters such as Nightwolf and Sindel. That being said, I thought I'd go ahead and discuss my thoughts on some things that we can expect to see from him, such as his possible moveset, fatal blow, fatalities, gears, skins, intros, and outros. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you do, please be sure to drop it a like to help support my channel. Let's see if we can get this video at least to 100 likes, I'd really appreciate it. And if you're new to my channel, please be sure to check out my other videos and subscribe and hit the notification bell for more Mortal Kombat 11 content and helping me on my road to 10,000 subscribers. Okay, so first let's start with the possible moveset. Being a Hellspawn, Spawn has had a ton of abilities that NetherRealm Studios can pull from to create a moveset for him. Spawn has had the ability to alter matter, project necroplasm, fly, teleport, raise the dead, and heal himself, and even has a symbiotic suit with a mind of its own that can create anything that he imagines, like chains, spikes, claws, and shrouds. Not to mention, he often uses guns due to them being his go-to weapons back to when he was alive and in the US Special Forces. So like I said, there's a ton of things that they could do for his gameplay, which has me very interested in what they'll choose to bring into his moveset for Mortal Kombat 11. Sure, Spawn has actually been in a fighting game before, back when he was DLC in Soul Calibur 2, but we only got to see him use his axe for his gameplay in that game, so this would be a chance for NetherRealm Studios to really highlight this character's abilities in the form of a fighting game. I personally see Spawn being a zoning character, if not a balanced one. This is due to him mainly using his chains, shrouds, guns, and even necroplasm projectiles from far away to kind of attack his opponents. That being said, he also has claws, spikes, and even has used an axe, so he could have tools to make him a more balanced character instead of a zoner. I guess though, if I had to choose, I'll probably more than likely say that he's a zoner due to like his main moves like his chains, his guns, and using his shroud from afar kind of being stuff like he mainly does when he's fighting in like the show or the comics. As for possible moves for his moveset, I'm sure he'll have moves focused on his chains, his shroud, and him projecting necroplasm. For his chains, I see him having a few ranged moves where he can pull in his opponent or use them in combo strings. He is a Hellspawn though, like Scorpion, so I wouldn't be too surprised to see him have his very own knockoff spear move. Aside from that, I can see him having some very creative moves that will probably be customizable moves from outside of the ranked matches. Like maybe he could have some trap moves where he can drop down chains from the air and pick the opponent up and drop them closer or further away from him. As for his shroud, I can see him having the ability to possibly absorb projectiles, allow him to flow in or being used to attack his opponent. He's often used it to attack people from afar, so it wouldn't surprise me to see them have it as an attack for him. Lastly, I could see him having a normal fireball with the necroplasm projectiles. Maybe they can even add some other customizable moves with ways he can shoot the projectile, or maybe even other ways he can use his necroplasm. Also, speaking of customizable moves, I could see him having different gun moves, a teleport move, and maybe even extra combos using his axe or just moves for it. There's of course going to be moves that aren't going to be in the normal variations that we get to use online for ranked matches, so these are definitely some possible moves I can see him having, especially with the guns possibly being a customizable move that maybe even replace the necroplasm projectiles. For his throw, I was thinking that maybe he could use his shroud since he'll be up close to his opponent. Maybe he can use it to wrap them up and strangle them and then knock them in whatever direction it would be for. As for another throw, I was thinking maybe he could use either a necroplasmic blast to blast them away or use his chains to toss them aside. As for a fatal blow, I couldn't really come up with anything amazing due to Spawn not necessarily having like a signature move or anything like that to base it off of, but he has always loved his guns and I don't think it will be a big part of his moveset, so I think that this would be a good time to kind of like show them off, so maybe he could use them in his fatal blow. But aside from that, I was thinking that an alternative could be him dragging his opponent to hell. Now, we've had it where both in Mortal Kombat X and Injustice 2 where X-rays and supers would change the location that they're taking place, so this is possible. Plus, we haven't got to see anything like this for any of the fatal blows in Mortal Kombat 11 so far, so maybe this could be an option as well, but that's the best I could come up with for fatal blow ideas. Lastly, there's fatalities, which I kind of ran into the same issue as fatal blows where I kind of really couldn't just base any significant moment into a fatality. I don't know enough about all the ways that Spawn has finished off enemies and ways that I could transfer them over into a good fatality, but he did kill Billy Kincaid in issue number 5 by hanging him in chains and having stabbed him with multiple items. So maybe they'll use this for inspiration for a fatality, like maybe Spawn can pick up the opponent by their throat and get really close to their face as they're struggling, and then it cuts to a scene where they're dead, hung up in chains, and maybe there's like a message left on them or something. Now they could always go the gun route here too, like I said with the fatal blow, but that's already been done enough in Mortal Kombat, and I would much rather see them do something that's more cool and gruesome. But that's the best idea I could really come up with for a fatality. However, if any of you guys have like any cool ideas for a fatality, please be sure to drop it in the comments below. I'll definitely be sure to pin the best one that you guys can come up with. Moving on, I would not like to talk about customization, so first let's talk about the possible 3 gear pieces that Spawn could have. Being a comic book character, Spawn has had a ton of different designs, but has also had certain parts of each of these designs kind of stay but kind of changed up a bit. That being said, I came up with 3 possible gear pieces based off of some of these parts. First, I think that the skull pieces on Spawn's cape and belt will be the first gear piece that he has. This is a piece that has shown up in a lot of Spawn's designs, so I think that it would be cool if we got to change it up how the skulls look on it, and even possibly have it connected to how the chains look as well. For a second gear piece, I was thinking that maybe you could change up his gauntlets or his arm pieces. Throughout Spawn's many designs, he's had a ton of different gauntlets and arm pieces, and with gloves, van braces, and other gear pieces like that being a common piece for Mortal Kombat characters in Mortal Kombat 11, I wouldn't be surprised to see him have one too. Lastly, there's the gear piece that will be tied into his moveset, which I think could possibly be his shroud, but if not that, his chains. Both of them possibly will be a part of the moveset, so I think that they both have a chance. His shroud has had a lot of different designs to it, though there are some designs where he doesn't have a shroud, so it possibly couldn't fit this role since it would have to be a part of his moveset, and you couldn't use a move if he didn't have a shroud. But I guess they could just kind of omit the shroudless design from any of the skins that he has in the game. There's also his chains, which could be another option, though I don't think it's as likely as the idea of the shroud considering all the different designs that it already has and the fact that it can be used as a weapon. However, I will say the NetherRealm Studios love to kind of come up with their own thing, so I wouldn't be surprised to see them come up with a bunch of different chain designs that they did decide to use this as a gear piece. But these are just the 2 pieces I thought could be really good for a 3rd gear piece. Next, I would now like to talk about possible skins. Now, like I said before, being a comic book character, Spawn has had a ton of different designs throughout the almost 300 issues that his comic book series has had. There's tons of skins that they could give him, which makes it very exciting to see like what they'll end up choosing. I just know for a fact that they won't pass up on the option of giving him a maskless skin, considering how often he takes his mask off, and the fact that people would be familiar with it if they've seen the movie or even the HBO series. But I think any of his past skins have a chance of being in, along with possible designs that NetherRealm Studios may come up with for themselves, because you know they like to kind of have their own random designs with some of these characters, so I wouldn't be surprised to see a few of those as well. Lastly, I would like to talk about a few ideas I had for intros and outros to Spawn. First, let's talk about intros. The first intro idea I had is if he came down from the air just like how he did in the movie and how his shroud was kind of all over the place as he floated down. This definitely is something simplistic and I can see them doing and would be a really good nod to the movie. Next, I was thinking he could have an intro where he comes out of the shadows or appears from his shroud. This is another simplistic idea that I feel fits him as well. Lastly, there's the idea of him sitting on a throne, kind of like Katana does in one of her intros. There's a really cool scene from the comics where he's actually doing this, and I think that will really make for like a badass intro for him. Next up is outros. The first idea I have would be having it where he lashes out of the screen with his chains as the camera does a thing where it slows down. I think any Spawn fan could kind of expect an outro like this for him. Lastly, there's the idea that I came up with where he actually returns to the cathedral in the alley he stays in the comic. I think that would be really cool to have an outro like this where he's just sitting on top of the cathedral looking over the city like how he does often in the comics. Now, of course, there's no other outros like this where they kind of change up the scenery, so I mean it's a slim chance, but it would definitely be something really cool to see if they actually decide to do it. But these are the ideas that I was able to come up with for a possible moveset and customization options for Spawn when he's added into Mortal Kombat 11. As always, I'm curious to see what they'll do, especially since Spawn is a popular guest character who's been requested to be in NetherRealm Studios game for a long time now. I will say though, after that Todd McFarlane interview we got, he seemed pretty hype about what they were doing with this character, so I guess we should be excited for what's to come. But what do you guys think about this possible moveset and customization options for Spawn? Is there anything in particular that you really want to see from him? Be sure to let me know all your thoughts in the comments below, and also, as always, just for fun, be sure to drop me your best ideas for intro dialogues that Spawn could possibly have in the comments below. But as always, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please be sure to drop it a like to help support my channel. Let's even get to that 100 likes goal. I'd really appreciate it. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter at LegendXRonin to keep up with all things that I do with my channel, and to join in on the many discussions that I have. I have a Discord chat as well that you guys can join. I'll leave a link for that in the descriptions below. If you're new to my channel, be sure to check out my other videos and subscribe and hit the notification bell for more Mortal Kombat 11 content. This is LegendXRonin. Stay humble, guys, and I'll see you all in the next video. Then their skin would come off. I was thinking that maybe they could do the same, but make it even more brutal. Like, imagine if while she's screaming, the opponent is there trying to withstand the impact of it all. While that's happening, their skin is slowly peeling off, kind of like that scene.